I was writing up a script for this, but I feel like I need to just start recording this and get my ramblings out of the way. I meant to make a video about something else today, but Twitter blew up yesterday about this topic, and I thought it was important to talk about it. So this one comes from Jazz, and the tweet says, I really feel like ICG needs a centralized place for information, like about Stepmania, different themes, packs, timing windows, style of play. If I didn't have friends I could ask or social media, it would be completely inaccessible for me. I meant to either DM you about this or post a reply, but then I just couldn't find the words to fit on Twitter, so I'm gonna just use this series as a platform for responding. And I think she's totally right. I think we have a huge problem with education-focused infrastructure in our community, and it's not to say that our content or our game isn't accessible, because it's actually more accessible than it's ever been in the history of the game. I think the problem is we just don't have the luxury of being like DDR, where the game that you see is the game that you get. We have Stepmania as a base, and then we throw Simply Love on top of it, and then from there, even all the content we play is custom. So everything is customizable, and the community has settled on their own standards on how to play the game, and I feel like we haven't put enough effort, I guess, into maybe not even just curating the resources for new players to absorb and know how to get into this game, but also haven't put enough effort, I guess, into publicizing it and making it a broader thing. So in addition, Jazz asked me what she can do to help. I've been thinking about this problem honestly for the past 2 months. I've made Facebook statuses before about how I think there's just a lack of information consolidation in this community, and I think there's so many ramblings I could have about it. I'm not super into Discord. I think I really miss forums, but I don't know how easy it is to convince people to go back to that. If we're going to continue down this Discord path, I think in an ideal world, I wouldn't want to just use Discord in pinned posts. I would love a wiki where you start with this root page. Oh, sorry, here. You start with this root page, and then we can kind of stem into specific pages. For us, it would be tech play, stamina play, mods play, and then you populate these sub pages with all the information that you need for your sub community. And then we could also backfill information what were past tournaments, who competed in it, what were the placements, what were the different ITG revisions, or we can even make profiles for people's tournament performances and stuff. And I think in the long term, that's a really cool solution, but ultimately it's too much information and super overwhelming for kind of the size of the community we have. And so one of my thesis statements, I guess, is that I feel like the amount of technical resources that our community has doesn't matter if you don't have the intro content to get people into your community and playing in the first place. So Jazz, to answer your question, I feel like what we need to create is a one-stop page to get someone from never having played modern ICG to getting set up and playing in the shortest amount of time possible in the easiest way possible. And I think there's already a lot of things doing that well. Club Fantastic is actually incredible in terms of, it's an executable. You just install it. It has songs on it already, and it's already configured the way that the community plays the game. In terms of writing this resource, you really just have to think in the perspective of a new player. It's what are the questions that someone who's never played the game would ask for? Where do you get it? What songs are people playing? Most of the stuff that you brought up in your tweet. Stepmania's Simply Love, 75's Simply Love theme does have some guides at the bottom. It is pretty deep down the page though. There actually is a great resource already made by Rob Nichols on how to set up Stepmania for modern dance gaming. I think that can be a great template, I guess, for information that you need to provide. And honestly, any guide that we write up can probably just link this page, because the documentation is really good for getting people set up. So yeah, I think that's kind of what we need, is just one stop. Put yourself in the shoes of someone who's just starting to play, or think about if you have a friend that you want to get playing this game. Think about all the things that you're going to tell them, and put that into kind of like a Word document, and see if you can structure it in a way that's accessible to new players. I do get concerned about standards. This is a classic XKCD, you know. We all see this problem with information consolidation, and if 7 people try to solve this problem at the same time, then we have a problem. You know, like Rob Nichols already has this resource. Stepmania 5 Simply Love already has, you know, some guides, and just things like that. And so if we just try to fix this problem by creating yet another resource, you've just kind of created another link for people to like not look at. So I don't know. There's definitely some problems, but I think what Rob Nichols has is actually kind of one of the best things we have right now. Maybe it just needs more exposure, and we just need to push that. And maybe if there's information that you think is missing, maybe reach out to him and see if there's something else that's worthwhile to add to this. Those are kind of my musings. I care deeply about education. As made apparent from other videos, I did drumline for a long time, but what some people may not know is that I also taught drumline as an instructor for local high schools for 6 years. And yeah, education is just something I care deeply about. It's something I could ramble on about for a long time. So if you guys want to maybe have like a Friday interview episode where we have like a guest host on and they interview me, shoutouts to Rust ITG for the idea. You know, that I'd be totally down to ramble about education infrastructure for 60 minutes. So I think that's all I have to say. My question to you, if you've made it this far, is, you know, how did you, as a viewer, get into modern ITG? Like, was it easy? Do you wish it were easier? I do read all the comments. I'd love to hear your stories, but honestly, it's been so long since I first played ITG that I don't know how I got into it. I think I just consumed a lot of YouTube content, and then like if I saw like a weird theme that was being used, I mean, I guess a lot of the community was on YouTube at the time, so you would just like type a question on YouTube and then someone would reply and stuff like that, and you're just like, oh, what pack is this from? And you just like find out through YouTube comments and like collect its information all together. Yeah, it'd be cool if it was consolidated in one place, but yeah, definitely like this XKCD is so classic. We just don't want to get into this situation where we all create these standards for information and we're like competing with each other. It's not good. Yeah, that's all I have. How did you get into ITG? That's what I want to know. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Jazz, for bringing this topic up. It's really been blowing up my Twitter tonight. So much that it's been distracting me from being responsible and doing other things with my time. So with that said, thanks for listening. I know that's not like a chart review or anything, but it was important to talk about. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow.